Create a Life You Love, day three. Day three. Oh, is that loud on your end? Hopefully not. Day three. What you say to yourself counts, right? So first of all, I am just excited to be here with you. It's really been an incredible couple days for myself, as well as some of the women that I've been talking to. And so I know that there's been a lot of clarity calls. The clarity calls are now fully booked, and we are not receiving any more clarity calls at this time. But I want to say, for those that have stepped out and have booked theirs, congratulations on booking the clarity call. It's just a call to help you wherever you are. And so I wanted to keep my word on the. I've been so busy with talking with people and my team and discussing what you guys have been sharing and what you guys have been going through. I'm gonna just look for you over here and make sure I am up and running. So if you see me, hear me, let me know so I know that that it's working. So I wanted to call out the winners for the prize. First, let me just tell you what the prize is. I am hosting a one-day retreat. It's a super powerful day of healing. And so the prize winners for today, for yesterday and Monday from day one, it is Sean McMurray. Sean, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. And Jean Lashley. So Jean, I see you on this morning. You are a winner. And so is Sean. So you guys each are winning a ticket that is valued at a $197 value. And we are really going to dive through the layers of the chakras and bring in some deep healing so that you can move forward in your life. So congratulations. Woohoo. So here's what's happening today. How does your self-talk truly impact your life? I want to say, feel comfortable sharing and opening up to this experience. Yesterday, and what people have shared, I've received emails, I've received messages, my team has received messages on and I'm reading them on the in our chats here in the Facebook lives, and and drop below now if you haven't shared. What was your breakthrough yesterday? What did you notice? What did you release? What did you notice? What have you noticed shifting so far in just these 2 short sessions that we've had, right? I love seeing your transformation, and I love the commitment that you are showing up here with. So it's so amazing for me to watch and witness you. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up for yourself. I love you, and this is just the beginning for you. Make this challenge your launching pad to create a life you love. What I'm sharing here are the keys of success and just the tip of the iceberg. I can't possibly give you all of the knowledge and everything I have in my mind, body, and soul in just a few short hours in a day, right? So through my Fear to Freedom program, not only do you hone on this work, but you get taught how to master your energy, how to heal from your past so that you can live in the present and create a life you love. And for those that don't know me, my name's Brenda Kiss. I'm a transformative Neuro Reiki master, and I'm here to help you to kiss your struggles goodbye, to let go of stress, anxiety, self-doubt, to step into confidence, empowerment, joy, and happiness. So let's start today. Has anybody, let me see if I can see your comments today. Yeah, awesome. Calmer. There was a difference in your relationship, Kat. That's awesome. Beautiful. And so let's start today with me just sharing with you so your self-talk, your conscious self-talk and your subconscious self-talk plays a role. It actually plays the role in how you begin to live your life. And, I offered this program last summer, at the end of last summer. Actually, I think it was in August. And there was a girl that was showing up, and she was showing up, and she was showing up. She was showing up everywhere. It was multiple times a day, and so I started chatting with her, and she really, when she started in the course, similar to one like this, she was just like, how is this stuff going to work? It doesn't work. It doesn't, like, she came to me, with a lot going on in her life. She had lost a lot in her life, relationships, everything you can imagine. And she went from not having hope, not being able to see the future, not being able to know where she wanted to go. I mean, she had been searching for a job, I believe, at the time for months and hadn't been able to find anything. And this is an educated woman that was very successful and is very successful. And she couldn't, because her self-talk wasn't in the right space, wasn't in the right mindset, wasn't in the right frequency to attract attract a job, let alone a job that she truly wanted. So by switching her self-talk, by switching the things that she say to herself, and there's more than just self-talk. This is what we're talking about today, right? Like we worked on her energy body, her emotional body, all of the things that we've been talking about all week, right? But just by switching her self-talk, she was able to go from hopeless to seeing a future, to seeing what's possible for her. And when we first talked, she was super skeptical. She didn't think these tools were going to work. She called them my hippy dippy tools. And she was like, how is this possibly going to work? But she realized within, she had gone to therapy and many different types of counseling, I believe. And she said, I have a noticeable difference. Drop below right now if you have a noticeable difference in the way you feel. And she did. After 4 days in a I think she went through a 5-day course that I was offering at the time. And she had a noticeable difference. And so I just want to share with you how changing your thoughts, changing the way you talk to yourself, changing who you believe you are, how that impacts you. So let me see if I can do this right. Let me put my glasses on. I like keeping my glasses off so you don't get that like light in my eyes. But if I turn the lights off, I look dark. Add source, share screen. So drop below. Can you see a girl in a blue shirt? Just drop a yes if you can see a girl in a blue shirt. Yes. Where are you? Can you see the girl in the blue shirt? I know there's a little bit of a delay, but yes or no? I'm going to trust that you can. Okay, yes, there we go.
I have a long history of depression, anxiety, and self-harm. I have spent a good portion of my adult life in therapy, and that's just where I started. And then life happens, and other circumstances make those things even more challenging to deal with. For a long time, I've been a distant versus living, which isn't something I wanted to do. And after just a couple days with Brenda, I felt hope for the first time. Something I didn't even realize was missing because I was so busy just getting by. I felt actual hope. And I have learned so many things that have allowed me to set healthy boundaries and take my power back. And for the first time in as long as I can remember, I actually consider a future for myself. And that's huge.
How can you relate to Kaylee? Can you relate to her? Can you feel like, would you love to feel hope, and would you love to be able to move forward in your life and really start to see possibilities for yourself? And Kaylee, shortly after she started, I think within, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe she can share, but she started working with me last September, I believe. And that interview was about somewhere around 3 to 4 months when she was working with me. And so that's how much her life had changed within 3 to 4 months. And for her to do a video like that was super, super empowering and outside of her comfort zone. And but I believe, yeah, so I believe she got the job that she wanted and was looking for by November. So just 2 or 3 months of shifting her self-talk, of shifting the way she was looking at the world, that was possible for her, right? So yeah, and that's possible for you. And here's what I've learned about people. I've been working in the industry of people for a very long time. I've always studied with, always had a passion around people and the way they think and the way they work, and uh, looking at how to create faith. How do you get to create faith? And so I feel like there's 3 types of people out here, and here's where you get to identify yourself. And one of the keys to change is identifying where you're at, and then what is the story? What's the self-talk? What's the belief that you get to overcome to move you to where you want to go? So I would say in my early 20s, I was a wisher and a hoper, right? I was wishing and hoping to make more money. I was wishing and hoping to find my Prince Charming. I was wishing and hoping to uh, become a millionaire, right? And so the wishing and hoping are the people that they're showing up and they think they want change, but they still are full of doubt, and they haven't fully decided yet that that's where they want to move or what they want to do. But most people in the wishing and the hoping phase are looking for that magic bullet. They want somebody just to say, here, this is what you do. Here, take this and you'll feel better. Here, do this. And so they're wishing and hoping. And so they actually relinquish your power to somebody else and doesn't realize that you are your creator. You are what you want to manifest. You get to manifest by becoming who you are, right? You get to manifest the things that you want by becoming that person inside. And so there is no magic bullet, but the wishers and the hopers are always looking for that magic bullet, looking for someone just to tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I have a couple clients when they first started out with me, they fell into a different category, but had some of these tendencies of like, what do I do? And I'll do it. What do I do? And I do it. And I always say to them, it's not about me telling you what to do. It's about me opening your perspective so that you know what to do, that you already know, but it takes a guide to help you to identify and move in that direction. Right? So you have the wishers and the hopers, and then you have the dabblers and the doers. And now this is you, the dabbler and the do-it-yourselfers. These are the island girls. So if you're an island girl, right, this is you. And the dabblers, that means you're showing up. You're taking this free class. You're taking that free class. You're going over here and taking this little tiny class, or you go to a healing and have a healing, and you want big changes in your life, and you want to have a whole different life, but yet you only have one toe in the water, right? There's no huge time commitment. There's no huge investment. You just want, you feel like if I just learn a little bit here, and then what happens, and this is classic, what happens is you start to dabble because you feel like, oh, I'm being called, right? This is what I'm being called to do. And then all of a sudden something comes into your way, resistance starts showing up, or maybe the teacher, you don't like what she's saying all of a sudden, and you need to pull yourself out and you need to go into another direction. And that's because the ego is making excuses, right? So you could be, who's a dabbler, who's a wisher and a hoper. Drop that down. If you're a dabbler and a do-it-yourselfer, go ahead and drop that down. But the next category are the women that have transformation. They're the women that begin now to see their life where they want to go, and they have transformation. They take the knowledge and they take action and they move forward. And these are the I'm all in and ready no matter what. These are the people that are ready to say yes to themselves, even if they feel scared. So saying yes to you is scary. You are so conditioned to say yes to everybody else, which means you say no to yourself all the time, right? But people who are ready to say yes to themselves, even if it feels scary, that's the definition of courage. And courage is the catalyst of change. You say yes even though you're uncomfortable. You say yes even if you're uncertain on how things are going to fold out, because there's something so deep inside of you that you are just going to make it happen no matter what. And it reminds me of, this is years ago when I was probably at the lowest of the lowest of the low in my life. I felt like my security blanket had been ripped out from underneath me. All of my emotions that were tucked deep down inside all started to come up and out, and I honestly didn't know how I was going to live. Not that I had suicidal thoughts. I just didn't know really how I was going to live, how I was going to function, how I was going to raise 3 children. And I was offered an opportunity to change my life, and it was from a woman that I was actually nervous and scared of. She was so beautiful and empowering, and I was so not that person. I was so insecure and felt unworthy and not confident, and somebody was telling me about her, and just like you are, you showed up here for a reason. I was led to her for a reason, and I actually had a conversation with her, and in that conversation I went from wishing and hoping to I'm all in. I knew there was just this, I knew no matter what I was going to do, whether I was going to work with her or not, I was ready to commit and move through and say yes to me. And I did, not without scared, not without having to talk to my husband. I was a stay-at-home mom, not having any of my own income, right? And it was just like, how do I do this? How am I, no matter what? And it's when you are ready, you will find a way to make it happen. And I can tell you stories and stories of the women that I've worked with that have made it happen. And I just want to share with you one other person that did. She came to me. It was actually a one-day seminar that I hosted, similar to the one I'm doing in a couple weeks. And she attended, and she was definitely scared to invest in herself. She was very angry, very, very angry, and had a lot of resentment, and had no time, literally no time, no extra money. She was like, I want to do this. So how do I do this? And, we had a conversation, and she said yes. And one of the biggest things that Lisa was overcoming was the guilt of taking time for herself, the guilt from putting her family second in her eyes. It's really, when you take time for yourself, you're showing up differently for your family. But in her perspective, then it was just like, I'm taking from my family. And her self-talk was one of judgment, of one of guilt, of one of anger. And so any time that she really, before working with me, she really just had so much anger, because I think we talked about it in day one, was when we do for others and we do, resentment and anger builds up when we don't take. See, the heart is a two-way street. If you take out your left hand, you give with your left, you receive with your right. So you receive with your right, it goes into your heart, and out with your left hand, right? That's the way energy flows, in and then out. But if you're constantly putting out, and the reason you do that is to hope to feel loved, to hope to feel connected. And what happens is the resentment and anger build up. And that was what would happen to her, and her self-talk led her there. So let's see here. Drop below if you can see Lisa. Drop me a yes, please. Yes, yes. Yes. If you can see Lisa, drop me a yes. Okay, here we go. Thank you.
I had no investments in my source, and it has been everything and more of what I could ask for. Absolutely amazing, the transformation that I've had. I can literally look in the mirror now and smile and be happy with myself, and feel that I am amazing, and I am a great person, and I deserve happiness, and I deserve everything that I want out of life. I think this course could help every type of person, because if everyone knew.
So the audio is not coming across clear. She was just sharing how she could step in front of a mirror for the first time and smile genuinely and share that she loved herself, that she loved who she was. And she could, for the first time, fully be comfortable with looking at herself in the mirror and saying, I love you. So talk about self-talk being negative and resentful and angry, to smiling in front of a mirror and telling herself she loves herself. So today we're going to be talking about how your self-talk counts, how it really truly impacts your life. I'm going to be giving you resources today to help you no matter where you are in your life, so that when you use these tools to tune into yourselves and the ways to not only identify your emotions, but redirect your emotions and your coping habit with your pattern interrupt, with that, that funny word and noise. How many of you used that yesterday? Drop it down if you had. If you used your pattern interrupt, right? So let's move further into your healing. Who's excited? This is, like I said, just a tip. This is just a small window of what I can do to help you, and I'm so honored that you are, and making some changes. So your mind is programmed to look for what's wrong. We have a reptilian mind, and that's actually how the human race survives in the beginning of life. It's by looking for what's wrong, what's the problem, and how can I survive, right? And as we grow, you get to step out of that survival mode, right? Too much time in that survival mode produces cortisol, which is stress in the body, which creates dis-ease in the body, which then creates other things within the body, right? And so we want to change that from that survival mode into that thriving and expansion, and develop. So from that survival mode, from that mentality, from that the thoughts of what's wrong, what's the problem here, how do I survive, you develop a self-talk based on that. And then based on your experiences you have in life, you give those experiences meanings. And then from those meanings, you have feelings, which creates beliefs, and stories start to develop. So as we spoke yesterday about how your emotions arrive, well, the same thing happens with your self-talk. You begin to tell yourself stories and beliefs that may or may not be true. In fact, what is a belief? If you look in the middle of the word belief, you see the word lie. Belief is a lie that you tell yourself until you fully believe it. So you can't prove someone's beliefs. It's just a belief to them. It seems like reality to them because it is. What you believe becomes a reality. So let's give you an example. Here are some examples that I've heard over the with people, and you can drop down something along the lines for yourself. If we go through someone's experience, who a family doesn't have a lot of money, right? And they share with their kids, listen, money doesn't grow on trees. And now the child grows up and wants to do things and to have things and be things. Do you think that person is willing and ready to spend money on stuff, or is there a holding on to money? Right there, that belief creates stories. And for me, my parents used to say money don't grow on trees, and I used to say, well, technically it does, it's paper, right? So I started to reprogram that thought pattern in my mind. But for anybody, you can gain different perspectives from a story or belief from somebody that, from your experience. Another one is don't spend more money than you have. And is that true? Does that feel true to you? Is that not true? What are the benefits in believing that? What are the detriments of believing that? Do you see how you have attachments and beliefs around these statements? You have to work hard for your money, right? Go to school, get good grades, work hard for that money. And so that creates a story, and that creates these beliefs create stories. What do you feel is the results of one? Like, work hard for your money. If you're not working hard, then what do you believe about yourself? If you don't have money, what do you believe about yourself? See, they create stories in our minds. And these beliefs affect your energy. They affect your actions or lack of actions. They affect your relationships. Yeah, you believe you're lazy. They affect your relationships. They affect your communication, your health, your wealth, your worthiness. They affect the way you feel about yourself and how others perceive you, or even how you feel about others. So today I'm going to share with you proven tools that will help you, no matter where you are, to begin to feel better, right? To begin to feel better. The third key to creating a life you love is hearing what you are saying to yourself and to others. If you are not tuned into your talk, you can't identify your beliefs and the emotions and the feelings that it's creating to create change, right? So learning these tools will help you elevate your energy, your emotions, your feelings, which are the keys, right? That's the attraction factor to creating a life you love. So learning these tools, no matter where you are in your life, in the story or the experience that you're having, you'll be able to shift them. See, there's no matter what's going on in your life, there's many perspectives to that experience. Many perspectives. I'll give you an example. I'm one of 3 children. We were raised by the same parents. I'm blessed. My parents have been married over 50, we celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary in January. So we were raised by the same parents in the same house. We all lived together until, I'm trying to think how old my sister, I'll say in our 20s. Like, my brother was younger, so he was probably 17, 18. So we lived together for, I'll say, 18 years of our lives, right? But we all have different perspectives and different beliefs based upon the experience that we had as individuals, right? I can tell you that the sky is blue, and you can have a perspective of, well, it's blue, but it also has, and when the sun rises, it has purple. You have a different thought pattern. You have different beliefs. So you get to identify where you're at and what perspective feels good and what perspective doesn't. So if you're living in something that doesn't feel good, if you're living in something that doesn't feel good, how can you shift your experience? How can you shift your emotional state? So let me see if I can share this. Oops. Hold on a second. I wanted to share this. I'm going to bring you back over here. I need 3 monitors when I'm doing a class like this. All right. Can you hear me and see? Can you hear me and see this? Well, that's not the screen. That's the screen I want to show you. Can you hear me and see the screen? Drop a yes if you can still hear me and see the screen. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, great. So if we look at this, this is actually free for download in the Facebook group. You can go into the files or the media and find this sheet. But first, you have to do the power of tuning in, right? You got to tune in and you got to find out where you are, and then you get to. And I'm going to go over some of these things, but you get to, move up what's called the emotional frequency ladder. And I learned this from studying Abraham and Esther Hicks. And one of the things they talked about is always find a better feeling thought. So if you're in worry or doubt, you want to find a better feeling thought to move up the ladder. So ideally, we want to live up here, right? That's where we want to be. That's what we want to have in our life. But I am sure that most of you are living down here. Maybe some of this, right? All of that. And the reason for that is the stories that are built up, the self-talk that has come from it. and then the reality that's come. So we're going to talk about how do you move up this ladder? How do you continuously move up this ladder no matter what's going on in your life, so that you can live in those top seven experiences, emotions. Okay. So, something I learned, I was beginning to tell you, is to find a better feeling thought. Like, what's a thought that feels good? And I have an image in my mind that I go to for a better feeling thought. And the challenge with that is when the negative thought is so powerful, the better feeling thought doesn't always have as much energy or as much impact to raise it up. So it's not just our thought that we need to work on when we want to move up the frequency ladder. And so one of the best ways to get unstuck and to bring positivity and to feel better and to have more confidence is to realize that you are in control of your energy, not anywhere else and not anybody else. You, not your circumstances. Your circumstances are your circumstances because that's what you perceive them to be, and that's because what you've manifested. And I know that could be a hard one to swallow. It was for me when I learned that. But you get to master 3 areas of your life. And when you master these 3 areas, it's not to say that your life's going to be perfect. I actually had a call with my coach this morning, and she's like, it's not that your life is ever perfect. It's your life is always moving. And you're always going to have ups and downs, and it's always fluid. It's just living. And there's going to be times in your life where things are more challenging, always. And then there's going to be times in your life when things are more open and flowing. But these 3 areas that you get to focus on and master, and this is what we do through our entire Fear to Freedom program, is master these 3 areas so that no matter what, so that when you're in an unresourceful state like depression or grief or anxiety or overwhelm or frustration or doubt or indecision or beating yourself up, you can learn these three areas to master your energy and create a life you love now, right? And I want to do a myth buster here, in that the journey to healing doesn't have to be this long, drawn out process. I remember when I started healing, and I was around a lot of spiritual healers, and they're like, yeah, your journey to this is this long process. And then I met someone that studied neuroscience and energy. And I took all of these methods of the spirituality, energy healing, neuroscience, embodiment, so that you can have rapid transformation in your life. And like I think Lisa, that share was 13 weeks, 10 weeks working with me. Kaylee was 12 weeks at the time, maybe a little more. I can't quite remember. Might have been 4 months. I guess that's 12 weeks. And so the change happens rapidly, but we're building that pathway that Nora, remember we talked about yesterday, how you can change quickly, but through the year program, we really master these so that these new patterns become really thick and they become the new normal, right? So when you learn these things and you begin to master them, you get to master any time of your life, no matter what's going on. So what are these 3 areas? Who wants to know? I'm not telling you until you tell me you want to know. Oh, awesome. I like them. You want to know? Yes? No? Where are you? Oh, I got to look on this page because then they come right in. I remember. Yes. If I'm over here, let's see. I want to know. Yes. Okay. So here's where you go. Yay. Yeah. So here's where you go. Irish, if you're listening, can you please send Hope Simak the link for this live? I see a message right here, but first you master your body, tuning into your body, knowing what it's telling you, making shifts within your physical body will change the way you feel. Let's test it out. Right now, I want you to show me someone who's depressed, right? What tell me, how do they look? Their shoulders are forward, head down. Just do it that now. And just notice how it feels. And as you notice how it feels, just pay attention to your body, your thoughts. Okay, now shake it out. Woo! Drop down how it felt. Drop down in the chat. Drop down in the below how that felt. Hot. Drop down. Let's see. How did it feel? When you did that with your body, how did it feel? Did you feel tight? Did you feel open? Did you feel closed? Did you feel depressed? Did you feel sad? Heavy, awful, sad, sinking heart? Yeah. So now what I want you to do, just a simple posture change, shoulders back, chin up. We'll do a half empowerment stance since I'm sitting. And do this. Just notice even your breath. Did you see what happened when I did that? Opening it up, the breath came in. Breath is life. Breath is living. Breath is the answer to all things. So what happens when you sit this way? What happens when you sit this way? Shoulders back, chest open. Opening to everything. It actually might be uncomfortable for some of you. It might be uncomfortable because you're so used to sitting this way. So opening that up might feel uncomfortable. But just notice the difference outside of the physical discomfort, like maybe it's tight on your shoulders. Just open up to the feeling of how that feels. Light feeling, yes. Yes. So just changing your body. So if you're angry, like, you know how we talked about tuning in? If you're angry, notice how your body feels when it's angry. It's probably tight and contracted. What if you just brought breath and started to let your body relax? I mean, it could be really that simple, so just shifting your body change is the first way to get out of an unresourceful feeling. It's the very first way. The easiest way to feel better now is to pay attention to your body and switch out of any body position that doesn't feel good. And you could do it so simply. You could do it by taking a short walk, drinking a glass of water. Let me switch. Here you go. That actually switches what's going on in my body by drinking a glass of water, by breathing, taking a bath, exercising, dancing, eating healthy, smiling. You put a smile on your face, guess what? You're releasing endorphins and you can't think negatively. But when you're in a negative, unresourceful state, do you want to put a smile on your face? Nope. You want to go ahead. You can put a clean pen in your mouth, and it acts the same way as you're smiling. It works the same muscles, and you begin to release endorphins, and so therefore you can begin to feel happier right now, right? So that is one way. The body is one way. It reminds me of a story. So I have a coach. I have multiple coaches and mentors, and there was this one mentor. She changed my life, and I wanted to volunteer and help her as much as I could by helping her help other women. And so I drove to her house 2.5 hours away, and was going to reach out to some women, some potential clients for her, and was really wanting to help her. And oh my God, first I was nervous to be in her space. Like I was actually meeting her because I did all the work online with her. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then I was going to make calls in front of her to her people. And, what if I messed up? What if I did this? And I was just like, okay. So I said to her, I'm nervous. And she's like, go jump on. She has a rebounder, but most people know it as a trampoline. There's a slight difference, but similar, like a little indoor trampoline. And she's like, go jump on that for 1 minute. It will completely change your nervous system and you'll come back feeling much better. And so I did that, and I came back feeling super empowered and super ready to do anything just by changing my body, right? We have so many simple tools, but here's what happens. when we're in such, we have this negative self-talk, and then we have these beliefs, and we don't work through the process. We go back to motivating and willpower versus inspired action. And you have to be willing to do the deeper work so that you take these actions that are given to you. Right? So that's the first area, body. The second area is your language and communication. You want to become aware, and you want to really acknowledge the language you speak out loud and quietly in your mind. Right? What are you saying to yourself daily? How are you speaking to yourself? How are you speaking to others? I'll give you examples. Some of the things I used to say to myself is, I'm not smart enough. I'll never be skinny enough. I'm not capable of making money. Moms aren't supposed to work. I'm not pretty enough. I'm never enough. I never had enough time, enough money. I never could get to my goals. I never did the things that I wanted. Drop below. What are some of the stories that you tell yourself? Maybe it's directed towards you, or maybe it's directed to yourself, because a lot of times when we have a lot of hurt, we disassociate from ourselves and we put the energy on somebody else. So you might say things like, people are so mean. Nobody cares about me. I do everything for everybody else and nobody does anything for me. Or that person's I don't like the way she dressed, or that person is heavy, and or that person, her hair looks a mess. What are some of the stories you tell yourself? What's some of the self-talks that you have going on? Drop them in the comments. Drop them. What are some of the self-talk that you have? What are some of the things that you were sharing or saying to yourself? I don't see anything coming in. Did I freeze? All of a sudden, you guys got quiet. You don't want to share the stories that you're saying to yourself? That's what's going on? If that is resistance showing up. And that's your ego keeping you stuck right here. I'm never going to have a good life. I must be cursed. I do everything. Maybe it's just really super played. I'm not enough. No matter what I do, it's not enough. Yeah. I eat everything on my plate. Debbie, that's a belief that someone instilled to you that you must do that. I don't deserve love. These are stories that were created from your experiences. And so now we're gonna get yourself out of that, right? Cursed, bad luck. Bad luck, you just won, Jean. Right? You just won a ticket. How funny is that? You think you're cursed, and the universe just said, nope, you're not cursed. Look, you got a ticket. There you go. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Stand up now. Let's see, can you still see me? Stand up. And then what you're going to do is just literally shake it out. Move the body, right? We're going to move the body. We're going to shake that out. We're going to shake out those stories. We're going to shake out those feelings. And as you sit here and shake, just notice the stories leaving your body. Shake your fingertips, shake, and just act as if they're shaking out of your fingers. They're literally the feeling of those beliefs, the stories themselves. Everything is just literally shaking out. Now move your body. And as you move your body, release it from the deeper parts of you. Yes. Let them go. Yes. Get rid of them. That's right. Oh, I can feel them leaving. You're almost out. I'm very empathic, so I can feel your stuff. Let them all go. Just give me a nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. This time, breathe in, making a sound. And breathe out, making a sound. Let them go. Say, I give myself permission to release and let go. I give myself permission to release and let go. I give myself permission to release and let go. Now stand, feet width apart, hands behind your hip, go into your empowerment stance and just take a couple deep breaths here. So breathe in and out. Breathe in again, feeling your feet planted on the floor. And breathe out. Stay with your feet planted on the floor, bringing your hands to your heart. Shoulders back, chin lifted towards the ceiling. And as you release all of those, you created space for new thoughts, new stories, new positive self-talk. What are new things that you get to say to yourself right now? What are new things, new stories, new beliefs that you get to say to yourself and own them and feel them go through your body? So pick one right now. What's one right now? I am amazing. Yeah. And as you say that, feel them, see them, experience that on a deep, deep level, just breathing it in, knowing that you consciously don't even need to know how to do this. Your subconscious already does. It already knows how to associate a feeling with a word. For goodness sake, it already did for other ones. So now let it do this for you now. Whatever your positive statement is, just feel it in your body. Just imagine what it would feel like right now to own this story. That's right. That's right. Awesome. Give everybody a high five. Feel it. Create it. What is your new story? What's the new feeling? What's the new beliefs, the new self-talks, the new self-talk? What is that for you? Drop it down in the comments. I can create happiness in my life. I'm awesome. I'm releasing the past to live in the now. I am allowed to grieve. I'm allowed to feel my emotions. All emotions are good emotions. It is safe to feel emotions. What are yours? What are some of the beliefs that came up for you? What are they? I believe. I'm passionate. I'm good at what I do. I'm made to do. Yes. I want happiness. So I am happiness, Jean. Is that Jean? I don't have my glasses on. I think it says Jean. Yes. I believe. What do you believe? I'm passionate. I'm good at what I'm made to do, meant to do. You can do this. I can do this. Associate with what you want. I can do this. Yes. Yes. I am deserving. Look at all this wonderful self-talk. This is what you get to step into. You can take yours and everybody else's if it feels good to you. You can add to this. It takes 100 positive statements to counteract one negative statement. I am a child of God. Oh, I love that. You are a blessing and amazing. Oh, thank you, Lisa. But see, I own that. You got to change that to I. Yes. So if you wouldn't doubt yourself, we say, I trust myself, right? Put it in the positive. The mind here is the biggest word in the sentence. And so put it out there of what you want. This is awesome. You guys rock. Yes. So your language, what you're saying to yourself, start creating new stories. New stories. Yes, you're learning. I'm living. Yes. That's beautiful. Awesome. So the third area is focus. What you focus on grows. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you haven't, it's definitely what you focus on brings you and bring energy to grows, right? Think of a plant. If you're focused on it and you're present with it and you're kind to it, it grows. If you forget about it and you neglect it and you're not nice to it, there's actually a study done on plants. I may talk about it tomorrow, but I'll share with it here too as well. There was a study done on plants with the positive self-talk and negative self-talk. And they had two plants that were the same plants, gave the same amount of food with the same amount of sunlight. And one was, I love you, you're amazing, I'm deserving, I'm the bomb diggity. And, like it is I'm awesome, I'm fabulous, I'm me, and I get to be who I want to be, right? And then in this hand, they talk to the negative, the plant, I'm terrible, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I'm not worthy. Guess what? And a whole bunch of other ones. Guess what happened? This plant thrived. This plant shriveled up. So which plant do you want to water? Where do you want to go? You want to have a thriving plant. So work on your communication, what you're saying to yourself, right? So the last area to focus on is focus. Like I said, what you focus on, it grows. And I know life can happen, and I know there's no such thing as a perfect world. Trust me. I have 3 kids. They keep me on my toes, and they keep me using my tools, and really, really, life is just really, like I said, there's ups and downs, but there's always ways to feel better. There's always tools to look at things differently, to experience things differently, right? So it reminds me of my son. He was probably 6 at the time, maybe 7. We sat on the floor in the living room. It was during COVID. So how old is he? He was 7. And we sat on the floor doing puzzles and puzzles and puzzles and puzzles. And you don't know my son, but my son, he doesn't sit still. Just starting to, at the age of 10, sit still. But he doesn't sit still for more than a few minutes at a time. So the fact that he was sitting here so focused on doing these puzzles, I was like totally amazed by him. And he got to his last puzzle, and he had like 4 pieces left. And he was just getting so frustrated because he couldn't figure it out. So I said, okay, Brennan, that's his name, go do something else. Go move your body. Go run up and down the steps, maybe see what your brothers are. So move your body, change your focus, right? Go see those guys and see what's happening and come back. And when you're ready, the pieces will show up. And so sure enough, he went and did that, and he came back, and he just went boop, 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 done, right? It's amazing what happens when you shift out of the state that you're in and see the life differently, how easy it is to put the pieces of the puzzle together, right? So one of the best ways to redirect your focus is through questions, really learning how to ask yourself empowering questions. Remember I said when you were born, you're always looking for the problems? Well, your questions are dealt to look for problems, and the qualities of your questions that you ask yourself determines the quality of your life. So if you're asking yourself to look for problems, you're going to have problems in your life, right? So we want to learn to ask ourselves empowering questions. So drop below a question that you ask yourself. See, when you are stressed, your mind, your subconscious, ask yourself hundreds and hundreds of questions a day. And you get to really tune into this and really work on this and really deep dive into what are the questions that you ask yourself. But if you just recall one question right now that you ask yourself, what's one question? For me, it was, I had questions like, what should I wear? What should I eat? Will I fit into my clothes? Why am I unhappy when I have everything I want in my life? Why do I always feel alone? And so when you're focusing on those questions, you're going to find disempowering answers, right? They're not going to make me feel better. But when we're stressed, that's the first thing we do. We go to questioning. So you want to learn to ask empowering questions. This is by far one of the best tools that you can learn in your life, is switching from disempowering questions to empowering questions so that you can change your focus. So what is an empowering question? Here are 3 components of it. I feel like I taught this. Did I teach this to you? I feel like I just taught this. It starts with what or how, has the word in this moment or right now, and has the phrase, most of them have the phrase even more. When you have the word even in front of more, it becomes an abundant word. Instead of I want more money, that means there's a lack. I want even more money means that there's more, right? So if I look at the empowering questions that I just said, will my clothes fit me? It's like, how can I eat, or how can I show up? How can I allow myself to stay in the same size clothes today? Something like that. What should I wear? How can I find clothes to wear even easier in this moment? What should I eat? What can nourish my body in this moment right now? What specifically would be even better? Why am I unhappy when I have a life that I wanted? How can I feel even happier with the life that I have? Why am I letting this affect me when it's not my problem? How can I allow other people's problems not to affect me in this moment? Why do I make so many bad choices? How can I make even better choices right now? Why am I stuck? What can I do right now to move forward even easier? What can I do today towards moving forward? Yeah. Why won't he leave me be right now? What can I do right now to set an even healthier boundary for myself? You see how I just took yours and reworded them? So that's what you want to do. That's what you want to really start to tune into and move yourself in that direction of what are you focusing on? If you're focusing on the wow, then the wow, the how, I mean the why, you're going to just keep getting looping questions. Think of a 2-year-old. But why? But why? But why? But why? You never really get to an answer, right? So you want to change that. And here are my top 3 empowering questions that I use often, and you're happy to take them. They're not specific to anything in particular that you're sharing, or they're empowering general questions. Is what is good about this right now? You know, no matter how crappy something is, there's always something good if you look for it. Because what you look for, you find. That's why I say you don't want to lose weight, because what you're going to do is you're going to go find it. Right? What you look for, you find. So what's good about this right now? Another one is, how is this serving me even more right now? How is this serving me? What is my lesson I get to learn from this experience right now? Right? Because then we get to learn the lesson, and then we get to move forward. I had a client. She was so scared. Her questioning kept her, and she had a nickname that she nicknamed herself, Uncertain Sally. I did not nickname her that, she did. And Uncertain Sally, she would question everything. She would doubt everything because her line of questioning would bring her into fear. And she was so scared to do things. She has such a fiery, fun personality, but she was so scared to do any of that stuff. So she left herself in you know, when you want to be this way and you live this way, there's a lot of discontentment in your life. And so she was stuck. She couldn't move forward. And so let's just hear. Oh, you can't hear from her because my audio isn't working properly. Anyhow, she went from Uncertain Sally to, you know, releasing her fears, to stepping into such a genuine, heartfelt woman that she truly is in love with her life. And I can show you. I can't. It doesn't make sense. So I'll see if I can get her the audios up and on Facebook so you can watch them for yourselves. You know, she is out living her life. She's actually moving through some physical health stuff right now, but her mental and her physical and her emotional state are all still. She's using these tools to stay in a positive flow with what she's being challenged with right now in her life. So pick something you learned today. What's one thing you're going to learn today? You're going to move your body. You're going to start using your affirmations. You're going to tune into the questions. Listen, don't overwhelm yourself. Take baby steps. Pick one. What are you going to do? Drop below. Which tool? Which one are you going to begin to use today? And I want to remind you that tomorrow is our masterclass. So you want to register with a Zoom link. If you have not registered, you will not be in the Zoom room. And you want to be in the Zoom room because I'm giving special gifts out to those that show up and stay to the end. So you want to get in the Zoom room. You're going to have a chance to interact with me and my team. And so I believe the master link will be posted separately and also in the comments. Irish, if you could drop the masterclass link here. It's called Rediscover Your True Story. We're really going to dive into who you are and where you get to go. It's a class for you if you're ready to commit to yourself, if you want change and you want to do deeper work. So get yourself there, get your spot, you know, and get yourself set up for that. Yeah, Irish will drop down the link. I think it's free.brendakiss.com/masterclass love 2022. I'm 90% sure that's the link, but it will be dropped in as well. So make sure you grab your link. And we also are going to drop in an opportunity to work deeper with us. If you are ready to move forward in your life, if you're ready to stop letting your past live your life, if you're ready to feel more confident, if you're ready to have more love for yourself, to have love for others, and really create a beautiful life, and you're ready to do deep work, there is an application you can fill out to work deeper with us. It's a simple application. I just want to make sure I give you the right one. Let me just test it. It is, yeah, apply.brendakiss.com. Apply.brendakiss.com. I'm dropping it in here. So you have two things. If you're ready to do deeper work, go for them. Sign up for the Zoom class, apply.brendakiss.com to do some deeper work. Once you do that, one of our teammates, my team members, will reach out to you. And so this was an amazing 3-day. I can't wait to see you on Zoom tomorrow. If you have any questions, I will be, you just go to team@brendakiss.com and we'll get back to you. Until tomorrow, have a fabulous, awesome, amazing, beautiful day. Love you. Bye.